Hello and welcome back to another lecture from organic chemistry. And as usual, thank you very much for watching this lecture video. We're talking about a carbonyl group that possesses electrophilic center, or a carbon with partial positive charge. And that carbon, it can get involved in nucleophilic reaction. Until now, we practiced a good number of nucleophilic reaction, but this and next lectures, I will switch to a different nucleophile, and they're going to be nitrogen type nucleophiles. And we know we can have NH3, and nitrogen, it has three hydrogen attached to it and one lone pair as well. And I can replace the hydrogen by an alkyl group or any R group. I can get NH2, and then I can have R there, or I can actually increase number of R's and turn it to R2, and then that's going to leave me with only one hydrogen. Can I get rid of the last hydrogen? Of course, we can replace that one, and that's going to give us R3, and then we get nitrogen with only one lone pair on it. Okay, and so for now, I'm gonna focus on these two. Okay, and I want to know what type of product actually I can get by using those two nucleophiles. Okay, we have a carbonyl group, and that carbonyl group, in the presence of a trace of acid, I'm going to add the nitrogen nucleophile to it. And as you see, the carbonyl group technically lost oxygen, and nitrogen replaced oxygen. And this bond. Okay, this bond, we're going to, this compound, we're going to call it imine. So we started with amine, primary nitrogen, and we turned it to imine. Now that nitrogen, it is going to have sp2 hybridization. And remember, nitrogen has also one lone pair there. Okay, and on top of the reaction is happening inside, and like actually got initiated with a trace of acid and gave us this product plus water molecule. Let's go after the mechanism of the reaction. So the mechanism of the reaction, or the reaction, is going to start with, like a nucleophilic attack to the carbonyl group. And this is the carbonyl group. It has a partial positive charge on carbon and a negative charge on oxygen. Nitrogen does have a lone pair, so it can share that lone pair with the active side and or with carbon. And now we have a species with a negative charge. That species is not going to be stable, and very soon it's going to find in an acidic H. And acidic H, we can actually find it on nitrogen. And remember, we started with this. CH3, NH2, and because the solution is acidic, and we added some acid to the solution, so this is going to turn to CH3, NH2, and then a plus. That's going to be technically the conjugate base. Now, the conjugate acid. This is the conjugate acid. The conjugate acid, it can give H plus to O, and that's going to neutralize it and turn it to alcohol. But nitrogen has a positive charge, and we need to stabilize and stable nitrogen as soon as possible. And nitrogen is going to lose one hydrogen in order to get the lone pair and get rid of the positive charge, or not beside the negative charge. The lone pair. We want to make nitrogen neutral. So take hydrogen from it. If you take a hydrogen as a H plus from it, that's going to leave lone pair nitrogen, and nitrogen will be neutral. So the charge now is neutral. Now, from now, what will happen? The solution still is acidic, and I do have excess from, or more, from this reagent. Okay, and is it possible, to have another chemical reaction, or like, to rearrange the molecule? And so let's see what will happen if we have some from that compound. And okay, so we have conjugate acid. The conjugate acid, it can, it can donate an H to OH. And if that one happened, in that case, H plus and the OH is very soon is going to turn to H2O. You might say, why you didn't add the H plus to nitrogen rather than O? Because nitrogen is more basic. Yes, you can do it. You can add the like the H plus to this, but what do you get? You get this intermediate, which is not stable. Is it possible to go backward? Yes, and that's going to give us the starting compound. And remember, we are adding some heat and plus some reagent. We want to force the reaction to move forward. And because I do have this conjugate acid, the conjugate acid will donate H plus to OH, and it's going to make it a good leaving group. OH is a bad leaving group, and because it does have a negative charge, and I turn it to H2O with a positive charge, and that's going to be a good leaving group. Okay, now that we have that good leaving group, trace like a small help from nitrogen, it can actually kick water out of the system. And because nitrogen, it has a lone pair sitting on it, it can take that lone pair, share it with carbon, and let oxygen to take the the sigma bond with it as a lone pair. And if that one happened, if we share the lone pair from nitrogen with carbon, now we will have nitrogen attached to carbon through a double bond, but nitrogen has a positive charge on it. So you need to get rid of that positive charge. Otherwise, it's not going to be stable. How can I get rid of it? And I need to have a base. Where can I find a base? This is going to be our base, CH3, NH2. That can be a good base. There's nitrogen there. Nitrogen is going to go after this H. It will take that acidic H, and it will regenerate the imine product. in all this process, I need to mention something that's, as you see, the CH3NH2, I use it as a base, and then we said also it can accept H, and if it accepts H, it will turn to a conjugated base, and sometimes we need to use that conjugate base to neutralize any negative charge. A reaction is happening in acidic condition, so we can't have a positive negative charge. The second we generate negative charge, we need to neutralize it as soon as possible. But like the question is, how can we have both acid, the base or NH2, okay, CH3NH2, I'm talking about this compound. How can we have this compound? And also, like, let's say this one, plus we are using it as a reactant. Let's go after that one. NH3, we know is a base. The the Kb for it is 1.8 multiplied 10 to the power of -5. If I compare it with the Ka for NH4 or the conjugate acid is 5.6 multiplied 10 to the power of -10. If you want to know whether this one, which one is acidic or like which side the reaction is going to move, just simply look at the Ka and Kb, and in this case, because Kb is bigger than Ka, clearly I'm going to say NH3 is going to behave as a base. So this one is going to behave as a base. We know that one. Okay. Now, if you have only NH3 inside the solution, yes, it's going to accept H from water, and it will turn to this one. It will turn to a conjugate acid. That's not a surprising thing. We know that's going to happen, and this one, it will be the base, and that's going to be the acid. But the thing that I want to focus on it, I wrote this one as equilibrium. Well, if you add strong acid, you don't have the right to write it as equilibrium. It's going to be one-way reaction, and this is going to be 100% conversion. What does it mean? It means entire of NH3, it will be used, and it will turn to NH4. So you're not going to have it anymore. So you can't have NH3 as a reactant inside the solution. That means if I start with such a compound, CH3NH2, and I add HCl to it, this reaction is going to be 100% conversion, and I will get this. Plus Cl minus. And this one is not a nucleophile. This is not a nucleophile, okay? That cannot be used as a nucleophile because there is no lone pair on nitrogen anymore. So you have to be careful about how much acid you are adding to the solution. Now, we said we need to be careful about adding HCl or any acid to the solution, okay? If we add too much, the reaction is going to be one way, and entire of nitrogen will be saturated by H, and it will turn to ammonium ion. And so when you're adding acid should not be that high. If it's too high, then you will have only conjugate acid inside the solution, no nucleophile. If you don't have enough, also is a problem because as I showed you inside the reaction, a couple of times we had to add H to the system. And for example, here we were looking for H plus. Again, there we had to add H plus to the system in order to neutralize it or turn, OH to a good living group. So we need to have a trace of acid inside the solution. They say the best pH is hanging around here, around 5. Between 4 and 5, that's going to be the best pH actually to run such a reaction. And I want to also say something about this. Okay, it says the ammonium ion is not acidic enough to protonate an aldehyde or a ketone. Okay, but it is acidic enough to transfer a proton to negatively charged oxygen. And which oxygen? Okay, and let's go back to they're talking about this species. Okay, look, NH2 plus. Okay, I should write here. Forgive me. This one should be NH3. My bad. Okay. No. CH3NH3 plus is not It's not that strong acid. Okay. If you compare it with water, it's not that strong acid, and because you have an oxygen nitrogen that attached to hydrogen versus water that you have oxygen attached to hydrogen. Or oxygen is more electronegative than nitrogen, and but there's a positive charge here. And now, if you put a strong base in the front of it, then you're going to decrease the acidity of the compound. This species, this one, it has oxygen with a negative charge, and because it's really unstable, there's no way to stabilize that negative charge through any resonance structure. It will take any acidic H around it. So technically, the acidity of this is going to go up when you put this compound in the front of it. Okay, acidity of this compound, it will go up if you put such a base in the front of it. And this is the this is actually the sentence or the target of that sentence that they're talking about it. Okay, let's practice some example about formation of an imine molecule. And in this case, we have a primary imine and then also a ketone. So product that I'm going to get, technically oxygen will be kicked out of the system as a water molecule. So I'm going to say I will get a cyclohexane that attached to nitrogen through a double bond. And nitrogen has 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon attached to it. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon attached to it. And we need to make it octet. So we're going to put a lone pair on nitrogen. And what else? I get water molecule. And as you see, the reaction initiated by trace of acid plus heat. Okay, it says a trace because we don't wanna cover turn entire of NH2 to NH3. We want to have enough acid technically to be used, like to initiate or to speed the chemical reaction. Next thing is we have nitrogen and a carbonyl group attached to the same backbone or technically to this chain. And because they are both attached to the same, like a chain or parent chain, I can call it, this is going to be intramolecular, okay, intramolecular nucleophilic addition. And nitrogen, it has a lone pair very soon. It's going to go after that carbonyl group, and it will kick oxygen out of the system. So let's label the carbon. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5, I'm going to put it on nitrogen. Why nitrogen? Because I know nitrogen is going to, is going to kick oxygen, and it will form a ring. So I will have nitrogen there, and nitrogen will be on one side attached to carbon number 4. So from one side attached to carbon number 4, another side will be attached to carbon number 1. And carbon number 1 is already attached to hydrogen. We're going to get a double bond between the carbon number 1 and nitrogen. And what else? Now let's connect carbon number 1 to carbon number 2. And this one attached to carbon number 3, and carbon number 3 attached to carbon number 4. And on carbon number 4, we have 2 methyl groups. And of course, those are H2, and I did not show them before because I just simply wanted to make it, easy to, track it or follow the structure of the molecule. Nitrogen is not octet yet. So we're going to put a lone pair on it and plus an H2O, and that's going to be the final product of the reaction. This is going to be the end of this lecture, and thank you very much for watching the lecture video.